Diving is the most dangerous job in the Navy. If it's lost underwater, the Navy diver finds it. If it's sunk, he brings it up. If he's lucky, he'll die young 200 feet beneath the waves, for that is the closest he will ever get to being a hero. My name is Master Chief Billy Sunday, and I am God.
This movie to me is my Rocky. There's just great heroic hoo-yah stuff in this movie that I think should be shown.
The great lesson of the story is don't ever give up, no matter what.
Reporting for diving school.
You know what the Chinese say, Cookie? Beware what you wish for.
This story is about a man who, no matter what happens in his life, no matter what was around him, he wanted to accomplish his goal. And then what happens if something happens along the way that can stop you from accomplishing that? You don't stop, you continue on.
I had great respect for him. His determination and his will to go as far as he did.
You think you're better than me?
You're damn right I am.
Well, let's just see.
Fighting against great odds and winning out. I mean, that's a story that always gets to me.
You let go before I relieve you. You fail my course right now.
Permission to relieve the man below, Master Chief.
I got no room in my class for heroes. You read me?
It's about how an ordinary human being overcomes incredible adversity to accomplish something when the odds seemed stacked against him.
When he fails, you retire.
He ain't gonna fail.
Because this is a man who actually went through this. Perhaps it wouldn't be so easy for someone to be deterred from their dreams if they wanted to accomplish something.
Why do you want this so badly?
Because they said I couldn't have it.
It feels like you could do anything after seeing this man's story.
I was totally amazed because I never heard of Carl Brashear. He was from Sonora, Kentucky with a 7th grade education, going all the way to becoming the first African-American master diver after losing a leg. I was totally blown away by that.
You get in there and fight, Carl. Don't quit on me. Ever.
Carl Brashear is a hero to a lot of Navy people. The Navy feels that, one, it's a very inspirational story. The best part of this movie is to see this man have a dream and to see all the obstacles he had to face in order to achieve that dream.
Carl didn't do this stuff because he's like, I'm a black man and I want to show him. He's like, I'm a man who's going to prove that just because you might think I'm not good enough, I'm good enough. And it didn't matter what color his skin was.
Time for training.
And that is something that any kid growing up in America can find positive.
Billy Sunday respects what Carl can do, and that, at the end of the day, wins out over all his personal feelings.
What did he say to you to make you try so hard?
Be the best.
Well, you are.
It's about Navy divers, but it's about Carl Brashear. He had to face a number of different challenges to get to his goal.
I was involved in a shipboard accident, and the boat was pulling lines and pipes off a ship. And I had about 7 or 8 sailors were in the way, and I rushed to get those people out of the way, and I didn't get myself out of the way, and a piece of pipe and pulled the stanchion off the ship, struck my leg, and pulled it off.
You don't really have to get too theatrical about Carl Brashear's life because it is something that is such a great accomplishment. And so I'm glad it was told the way it really happened.
We're all extremely proud of you, Chief Brashear.
One of the reasons I did this film is because the younger generation can look back and say, hey, I can do anything I want to do if I just put my mind to it. That's what Carl represents, and no matter what culture you're from. And he's definitely a hero in my mind.
I don't feel I'm a hero. I feel that I had a goal to reach and a job to do. My heroes in life are school teachers and policemen. Those are the heroes.
He seemed to approve of everything, and it was great. Always you had a governing spirit there who lived through this stuff so he could make sure that everything was authentic.
Meeting the real Carl was, it's just amazing that somebody actually lived that kind of life. And it's a story so deserving of telling, just because very, very few people will have a life like that.
Robert De Niro was my favorite actor of all time. And one thing about him and Cuba Gooding is that we collaborate. One of the great things about De Niro is that he believes in the script. So for me, it was an enormous experience just to be next to him and work with him. I just saw him as Billy Sunday, and he saw me as a director. But there are times when I'm sitting behind the camera, behind the monitor, I'm just like blown away by some of the things that he does because he gives you something different take after take.
Billy Sunday represents what the social attitude was at the time in the Navy. Yeah, he's a rebel himself in the sense that he doesn't like authority. He's not a nice person, he's a prick.
Ball's law states that at a constant temperature, the volume of a confined ideal gas varies inversely with its pressure. Now why is this law important in diving? I don't know, Chief. You don't know and you ain't ever gonna know.
I've worked with a lot of great people lately, a lot of great actors, and he falls so neatly into that because it's like I'm going through training. This is my early stages of my career, and I've had the best teachers in the world, and I feel honored.
It was amazing to work with Bob. It's lively. It's never dull, which is great. It's really wonderful when you work with an actor who really celebrates the character, and you know, you just react. It's wonderful.
You ended my diving career, Lieutenant.
I didn't know you had a daughter.
You're gonna dance with your lovely wife, right?
Yeah.
Billy.
As soon as we saw the pictures of Carl and met Carl, George and I said, it's Cuba. It's Cuba Gooding.
You need an actor to have the range to go from 17 to 40 and have the behavior change at the same time. Cuba was that guy for me.
Salvage divers are not SEALs, they're not shipmen, they're a particular breed of guy. They're rough and they're tough, they're strong.
We've got a lot of heroes and cops and paramedics above the water. These guys, they're damage control in a world that very few of us are really familiar with.
They had to work on their arithmetic. They had to learn so much about diving. It was also like an education in that too, besides just the physical skills of becoming a master diver.
In those days, it was very dangerous. It would have been really the risk takers, the adrenaline junkies, you know, the guys who wanted to live on the edge that would be willing to become, you know, Mark V divers in the Navy.
It takes a special type of individual to be a deep sea diver because it's a lot of psychological pressure.
Action, go!
Most of these men are very strong, they're very physically tough, very intelligent. It takes a specific type of person to embody all these things and be able to go 200 feet, 100 feet down in the water with a 200-pound Mark V diving suit. So these are very proud men.
When they reach that highest level of being a master diver, it's like they do what not many people can do.
We used to say in the Navy, you carry around a lot of leather and lead.
The Navy actually provided several men who were very comfortable and very skilled in the Mark V uniform.
I'm Bruce Banks. I'm the president of the Divers Institute of Technology. I'm a retired Navy commander, and my job for the movie was to train cast characters in the processes of deep-sea diving.
Richard Radecki. I'm a diving supervisor, diving consultant. The divers that were used, they're used in two roles. One is divers, and second is tenders, because they know how to dress a diver. Some are graduates from Divers Institute of Technology in Seattle, and some are presently going to school. We had Cuba and all of the other actors come up to DIT, get dressed, and make a dive. Also, Mr. De Niro came up. We had a very short period to teach them just the fundamentals.
We tried to give them a condensed 7-month course in one day up there. So we taught physics and medicine, told them not to hold their breaths, and then we took them out in the afternoon and actually dove them in the Mark V rig. Cuba was one of those who dove down to our welding projects at about 25 feet.
It blew me away that I could actually breathe underwater. And that's one of the things they stress in dive school. They give you like 4 rules. Don't hold your breath or you'll die. Don't forget to exhale on your way up or you'll die. Don't forget to hold your breath or you'll die. I mean, they keep saying, or you'll die, or you'll die. So you get down there, they tell you to sing a song on your way down and sing a song on your way up so that you don't get oxygen shot into your bloodstream and create an embolism. It can be pretty scary.
It's exciting to watch Cuba Gooding work. He's very efficient in the Mark V deep sea diving suit because he's strong, he's in good physical condition, and he doesn't show any signs of claustrophobia.
I never considered myself claustrophobic, which is a good thing. I never really thought about being claustrophobic. But in these Mark V suits that they have, it's almost like putting a fish bowl over your head and being able to see, but only so far. So you really get a sense of being confined. You're also hooked up to an umbilical, which is air gas lines that feed you. You know, they're your lifelines. It can freak you out a little bit.
When they're putting the hat on Cuba, we do a comm check. There's 2 microphones on his throat, runs into the helmet, and then from the helmet it runs to his umbilical, which is where he gets his air, and then comes directly into the comm box.
This is the breastplate. It fits inside of the deep sea diving dress inside of this bib. This together weighs 54 pounds. The shoes weigh 17.5 pounds each, and the belt weighs 84 pounds. Complete dress weighs 190 pounds.
I am a diver. I think it's a really fascinating sport, and I really enjoy it. Of course, that doesn't really prepare you for your first day at the dive school when they brought out the Mark V. And we all looked at it, and George had said, whatever we have to do, Holt, you go first. I said, okay. So they said, who wants to try in the suit? I said, I'll try it on, right? And they put me in the suit, and I stood up and I said to our master diver, I said, I'd like to go down. And I got down to the ocean floor, and then all of a sudden, I realized I'm not sure exactly how to ascend. Until you're actually underwater in a Mark V diving suit, it's an experience that unless you've had it, it's really difficult to articulate. It's only for the stout-hearted.
I've been down in the Mark V. I went down like 25 feet underwater and, you know, got to feel what it feels like on the body. It's exhausting. Just standing up and going to the ladder and walking down to the water is exhausting.
We got some of the best advisors, I think, for a subject like this. We have Radecki is the Master Chief working on, and Bruce Banks, who's been a wonderful aid through all of this, not just telling us how things look, but helping us out to make the conditions in which we're working under authentic.
What I learned is that they're very smart, sensitive guys and courageous, because it's a real specialized, to say the least, profession.
The tank work is actually a simulation of an engine room that falls off the riverbank on the bottom into deeper water, and as it does so, rolls over. It's pretty sophisticated diving because you've got safety concerns here, whether or not the air supply works or whether or not we are able to get the umbilical off. So the coordination of 3 divers in the water and 6 tenders topside has to be pretty well rehearsed.
I am doing some of the dive work. My character faces his near-death experience and is in need of being saved because I've got my air hose tangled.
For God's sakes! The ship's weight is crushing those pipes, Chief. Gotta get them on a fresh hose and out of here fast.
Slow your respiration. Breathe easy. Just breathe easy.
Please. I wasn't made for this. I want to come home now. I want to quit! Cut.
It's such a story of true heroism. You're the one they talk about.
I wanted to make a classic drama that has love, it has action, it has everything. It would be totally entertaining.
Now you listen to me, Oki, because this is a direct order.
He'll be dead before you get to him, sir!
You will not go in that water.
Yes, sir!
I think that there are certain stories which are timeless. A man who is able to overcome adversity and accomplish something that he never should have been able to accomplish, I think that those stories are timeless.
It's exciting.
It's a real courageous story.
We have many traditions, some good, some bad.
I'm more proud of this than any film I've ever made.
However, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for our greatest tradition of all. Honor, sir.